Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, looking for the weekend. You got it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. Ooh, let me be careful here because I am at the river. I decided, you know what? Let's stop by the river, do a special podcast. This is a special breaking news podcast, special report, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to talk a little bit about yesterday. Fannie Mae sent their guidelines and matrix out, and so I thought we'd talk a little bit about that. And overnight, some very, very interesting stuff has come in. Let me just say this. With all the lawsuits right now on independent contractor employee scenarios, I look at the guidelines from Fannie Mae, and I'm wondering, well, HUD has them, Wells Fargo has them, Bank of America has them, and I had to send this question into the attorneys asking, where does their liability stop? Where does Fannie Mae's liability stop in that process? If they're the ones setting the guidelines and not, say, Field Asset Services, not MCS, not Safeguard, if it's Fannie Mae that are setting the guidelines and demanding these guidelines be followed, again, Fannie Mae got an office in Reno, Fannie Mae got an office in Vegas. Why aren't they recruiting locally to get local talent? Why aren't they doing it that way? Because that would mean you're an employee and they could have to pay your taxes. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen. All your life you've been given a paycheck. In that paycheck, taxes come out. Whatever taxes come out of that, your employer matched in addition to one tax you didn't pay, and that's called unemployment insurance. Big thing there. Now, I did see that they had the clearboarding in here. I did see they have expense form servicing guide F-1-06 expense reimbursement. That's employee status. One of the big things here, they talk to you about the technology and photos, how to use the home tracker, managing foreclosure proceedings, of course, property preservation at, there's an underscore between property and preservation, but at Fannie Mae, if you need to know about the home tracker, submitting bids, let me see here. Servicing Guide A2-5-2-03, retention and storage of individual mortgage loan files and records for property preservation, folks. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. The plot thickens, if you will. The plot thickens. But they have servicing guidelines for property registration, for inspections, initial securing services. Right here, initial securing, rekey, secure, and each one, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you this here. You see that blue? That means it's a link, and it gives you specific instructions on how to do that. So my question to the attorneys this morning was, matter of fact, let me pull that up, ladies and gentlemen. I was kind of taken aback by this when I saw all this. So I sent to the attorneys that are handling these independent contractor deals, I sent a deal into them asking, hey, where does the liability stop? Where does the liability stop? The information I sent over yesterday, this set of guideline goes to the companies like Field Asset Services that have been sued successfully for violating the independent contractor thing. But my question was, does Fannie Mae have liability, or does said liability stop at the first vendor, i.e. the company they've contracted with? You got to remember, this is a multi-layered industry. It's like, what do they call that? There's a marketing term for that they do. So it's kind of crazy. But in my humble opinion, for what it's worth, those servicing guidelines make you an employee. You're an employee. They talk about reimbursement fees. They talk about instruction. But one of the biggest things that I took away from the Fannie Mae guidelines, ladies and gentlemen, 14 days. That 72 hours crap, that's Safeguard. That's Field Asset, Assurant Field Asset, MCS. That's those people. 14 days, ladies and gentlemen. 14 days. And this is why I say this work needs to come back locally. It needs to come back to the office, the HUD office, the Fannie Mae office, the main Wells Fargo in Nevada, whatever. It needs to come back here locally so they can hire local talent. We're not checking all their insurance. We're not having to pay obnoxious background fees, do background checks in a third world country, in another country, no less. So that's why I say that. But let's look at another. It appears I sent a thing out, NPPG, on the on Facebook, I guess. But the guy who started the page, Ben Vincent, years ago, said it's no longer in effect. Let me see here. Aim your way. This is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Aim your way. Aim your way. Put out a little blurb yesterday asking, are you registered in every state you conduct business in? Ladies and gentlemen, remember, 6 years ago, I started screaming, you guys aren't licensed to conduct business here. You can't do that. It's against the law. I have to wonder, because Aim Your Way down in Texas is doing this. It's very interesting that, let me see if I can find that article. I didn't tag it, so it'll take me just a minute. It won't take that long. But what they did was they, are you compliant? It's an OCC thing, and my whole thing is, I couldn't figure out what OCC was, but let me see here. What they were saying, they were talking about licensing. Are you registered in the states you're conducting business in? And of course, ladies and gentlemen, it's a tax issue for the local states. And many companies that, you know what, they may only be doing 5 states. Can they afford the extra? For some reason, I don't have a signal here. Are you kidding me? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let me see here. Nope, I got no signal, so I can't pull it up. I'm going to have to try to backdoor something. But what they were saying, they were asking if you were compliant in every state. And my question is this, Mr. Miller, you've known since 2010, that's 7 years. The court said, no, you have to have a license here to conduct business against Booze Check or Buckzek. And you've never done anything about it. Now Aim Your Way, a member of the National Association of Mortgage Field Services, is asking everybody, are you compliant? This goes back to what I've been saying. The members of AMS want you compliant. They want you background checked. They want all this stuff on you. All the rules read. The people touching the money. The people touching the money. That's what Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says, not you. You don't touch the money. Half the time you don't get the money. But here's the thing. If a member of NAMFS is raising this issue, do I feel vindicated? No, all I can say was, hey, I was right. I was right. I wasn't wrong here. And it's one of those things. Oh, man. Well, it doesn't appear that I'm going to be able to pull this article up that I found. I can't pull it up, so. But you can bet I'm going to talk about it again next Preservation Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Next Preservation Thursday, we're going to talk about this again. Again, I just wanted to get a blurb out there today about it. And it was such a nice, gorgeous morning here at the river. I thought I'd stop and do the podcast from the river this morning. and share a little bit of the Truckee River with you guys. It's moving nice and slow. It's clear. The water's cleared up a bit. 2 weeks ago when I was down here, that water was brown. It was moving a lot faster too. So it's slowed down. I'm going to go walk the river today. We're going to have a good time walking around the river up here and all that. But the bottom line, and like I said, I have some questions out right now, and hopefully we'll see what the attorneys say on this Fannie Mae guideline thing. I mean, the reality, ladies and gentlemen, Fannie Mae is setting the guidelines. Fannie Mae is setting the timelines. Fannie Mae is setting the rules that you have to follow. That's an employee scenario. That set of guidelines makes you an employee. I don't care if you're field asset services or not. It gives instruction. It gives everything. It gives control. Again, why isn't a Fannie Mae office in Sacramento, a Fannie Mae office in Washington or Las Vegas, Boise, Idaho? I don't know where they are, but I know HUD has an office in Reno. They have an office in Vegas. They have an office in Boise, Idaho. So why is Guardian Asset Management with a contract in Pennsylvania for Nevada and Idaho? They cannot do the work. I'm sorry, they can't do the work. On top of it, they're a bunch of thieves that came over from AMS. That crew that went over there to AMS, I'm sorry. Not a good thing, Guardian. Not a good thing. You messed up. You're not you might be on paper a woman-owned business, but you're definitely not a minority business. Yeah, you might think about that. You might think about that. That lady who owns the thing, she has to do 80% of the work for the company. That's woman-owned business. What's that guy's name? Ernie Stepovic or something? Stefanik? That's who's running the show. That's not a female-owned business. That's number one. Number two, they're in Pennsylvania. How? And I sent them. I said, look, are you guys looking for, field supervisors out here to QC and stuff? Oh, no, we just want independent contractors. Okay, fine, I'll be an independent contractor. Give me $80,000 a year. Independent contract me for $80,000 a year. I'll check all your properties for you. I didn't get a response back. I didn't think they'd handle that. But the reality is this. I don't know the people at Guardian Asset Management. I have no ill will, no malice, nothing against them. I don't know them, but they cannot do the work here in Nevada, period. You got to wonder if they even know the laws. And guess what I'll be checking later this afternoon? Are they compliant with Nevada's business laws? If they don't have a business license, you can bet, hello Guardian Asset Management, they're going to hear from our Secretary of State, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you push back. This is how you push back on this. If you have to be compliant, they have to be compliant too. It's that simple. It's just that simple. If a company is conducting business, and let's think about this for just a minute. Let's say you have a Fannie Mae contract in a town, and I'm just going to use Guardian because we already picking on them. But let's say Guardian Asset Management had the Fannie Mae contract here in Nevada, which I think Sentinel does. Let's go to Sentinel. Sentinel did not have a business license. They were not properly licensed to conduct business in the state of Nevada. When I talked with Richard about that, he got kind of sideways with me. I said, let me explain something to you, dick. You are making money over here. Is that correct? He goes, well, of course we're going to make money. I said, the work product never leaves the state. Therefore, you need a license in this state to conduct business. And here's why that's important, ladies and gentlemen. When you have a company making millions of dollars in your state and they're not licensed, they're not paying taxes to your schools, to your roads, to your hospitals, to your social services in your community. Think about that for a minute. They get to make all the money and not pay taxes. You got to pay all the taxes, be compliant. You don't see what's wrong with that picture, folks. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for me to get out of here for the day. I'm going to go wander around. Tune in later. I'm going to have all kinds of stuff going on from Reno today. We're going to look at the river. You can bet on it. If you like what you hear, give a thumbs up. Subscribe to the station. If you can hit us with the donation, go to the website. It's right on the right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the donate button. We sure would appreciate it. A little tight, but we're might be doing honey. I might be doing honey. I might be getting involved in a honey operation. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let's have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, I'll let you look at the river. You can hear the train in the background. It is a gorgeous morning. It is already, what is it out here? It's about 75, 80 degrees already. It's very nice down here by the river. We're gonna go have a good day. It smells like fish. I should have brought my pole, get some breakfast. That's what I should have done. I should have brought the fishing pole so I could have breakfast. I gotta go get coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you hear, thumbs up, subscribe to the station. We love you all, man. Let's have a great day. And oh yeah, up to the minute fraud reporting, foreclosurepedia.org. You're in the Richmond, Virginia area. Women at work. Get a hold of Kim Savage. She'll get you taken care of. Let's have a great day. Let's all be safe out there.